So when I first moved to Georgia in 1996, I heard about one of Jimi Hendrix's wah-wah pedals that was for sale in Chattanooga. So on the way down to Georgia, I stopped, and it was this really famous boutique pedal store. And they had all these vintage and new pedals at the time. And I said to myself, there's no way that one of his wah-wah pedals wound up in Georgia. So anyway, I called a dealer friend of mine in New York, and he knew about the pedal, he knew what it was, it had paperwork, and he verified it. So at the time, it was $1,500. So I bought it. And I brought it down, and I moved into my sister's house in 1996 with this wah-wah pedal. So I remember I started to use it, and it sounded terrible. And I said, it has got to be me. There's no way that one of his wah-wah pedals sounded that bad, and it really did. So I drove back to Chattanooga, and I returned it. And I had been so upset ever since. But anyway, I have this wah-wah pedal, which was made for me by Jeffrey Matisse of Real McCoy. And he actually went to the original designer who made the pedals for Crybaby in the 60s for Thomas Organ Company. And he had some original parts around, and he actually put this pedal together for me in 2012, and it was one of the only ones that he made that year. So I'm really excited about it. So why am I talking about wah-wah pedals? Because in my teaching beliefs of music being very linguistic, there's nothing more linguistic in terms of guitar effects than a wah-wah pedal. It's really vocal, you can intone with it, and so in other words, you can make all kinds of sounds that you can parallel with a wah-wah pedal. Like if you listen to how a lot of people talk internationally, they don't always use words. They use tones, they use sounds like ooh, ah, oh, wow, hey, wow, And you can actually create that kind of effect and that kind of mood with a wah-wah pedal. So I'll give you an example. So say I want to say wow or ooh or ah, oh, that's really cool, or watch this. All right, so those are kind of like some of the sounds and kind of the vowels you can make with a wah-wah pedal. And so if you think about it as something to vocalize with instead of something to move rhythmically, like many years ago, 1970s, like 70s show music, you heard the wah-wah pedal really rhythmically. So you would hear things like this. So you hear that really wacka, because when you're doing something rhythmic, it's hard not to, surrender to the rhythm in it. But if you use it just vocally, it really takes on a really different characteristic. So I'll give you an example. I'll do it in context with a rhythm. So you're hearing that I'm making all these kind of vocal and toning sounds, but I'm not really doing it rhythmically. So watch. Now I'll do it rhythmically, and you can see what usually the default thing is most people do with a wah-wah. Not that that's bad, but again, you're just wah, 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 which is why they call it a wah-wah pedal anyway. So let me do something vocal with it and not be rhythmic, which is actually really difficult to do. So I'll be playing rhythmically, but I won't be using the wah-wah rhythmically. I'll use it more vocally, like ooh, ah, wow, and those kind of tones. It has a kind of nice character because You can say it's a little nasally, but you're like going, and you're kind of sneering. So it brings out a certain kind of attitude. Now I'll just sort of improvise a little bit and listen to the kind of tones I'm shaping. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make effects like wow or ooh or cawing or like even a whistle, woo, woo. Or I'm just going to use it and I'm going to set it at a certain tone so you can hear, like I'm going to bring out a different characteristic of the tone. Like I'll bring out a vowel like ah or a or ooh or e, or even European vowels like ah, a, e, o, oo. You'll hear that kind of tone. So I'll do a phrase and you'll hear like a certain tone I'm going to stick to. I'll put the wah-wah pedal in a position like this. Watch. Okay, there's a famous recording, Mark Knopfler, and he does it. Watch me, I'll adjust the wah-wah pedal a little bit differently. There's that principle. Now, I'll back it off all the way, and it'll be really kind of dark sound. Now I'll run it wide open. Now run it open and play it better. That one's not quite as appealing. So if I pick a certain tone, okay, so when I improvise, you're going to hear me like defaulting to certain tones. It has a really nice effect because it creates different harmonics and you can feed back. So I'm going to drop it down a half step back to F sharp. So here we go. So that's a really nice effect when you use it that way, because it's sort of, I don't know how else to describe it other than intoning. So, it's just kind of create noise and rhythm and counter percussive elements. And I'm keeping the same drum beat just so you can hear this as a concept more than different rhythms. laughing. Ha 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 ha. So you can have fun with this too. It's kind of a fun tool. If you want to hear someone who kills a wah-wah, listen to Steve Vai. He can build such a mood. So the problem for me playing a wah-wah pedal is I play with pretty heavy strings in high action, and you don't get as much of a response. You get much better tone, but your width and your range narrows a lot. Like, I play with pretty heavy strings in high action, so I have maybe 60 or even 50% of the range that somebody would who plays with really thin strings. So there's a sacrifice. You lose some range when you play with bigger strings, but you get a really, really nice tone, and you can get those kind of middle tones, those kind of out of bass tones. I'll change it just a little bit. So you have that kind of characteristic with the bigger strings, but you lose that with the thinner strings, but you get a wider range. Like if you want to wow, like a really kind of sweet. See, that's not as quite as a big a range, but it has a fantastic tone on it. So there's a lot of variations you can do with this. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you some concepts with a wah-wah pedal. So until the next session, thanks you guys for watching. I'm Derek. This is my drummer over here. We won't mention who that is, but we'll bring the drummer out in another video. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye.